Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. The massive security effort as the world rings in 2024 and fears of escalating violence in the Middle East. The U.S. Navy opens fire on rebels in the Red Sea, sinking their boats. But first, New Year's Eve security. Just hours before the ball drops, authorities are keeping a close watch on New York's Times Square with police drones and officers on horseback, while some are calling it an attractive target for terrorists. And what's being done to keep cities around the world safe on this holiday? Also tonight, the confrontation in the Red Sea. U.S. Navy attack helicopters say they were acting in self-defense after sinking multiple boats and killing 10 Houthi rebels after they attacked a commercial cargo ship. How this could affect shipping in the Red Sea region. And tonight, ABC News has learned the Navy is moving an aircraft carrier out of the region. Plus, Israel warns of a lengthy timetable for the war with Hamas, how much longer they expect it to last. And the U.S. and Israel at odds over who will control Gaza once the fighting ends. The migrant crisis pushing cities to their breaking point. Hundreds of migrants flown from Texas to Illinois, then bused to Chicago. Big city mayors plead for federal help. President Biden heads into the new year facing a tough Senate fight over border security and funding for Ukraine and Israel. The alarming rise in respiratory illnesses. Hospitals in several states are bringing masks back. Which regions are being hit hardest? Another airline mix-up. How a teen headed for Cleveland ended up in Puerto Rico. Actor Jeremy Renner's heartwarming visit to the hospital staff who helped save his life. And oh baby, 4 sisters, 4 babies, and an unforgettable holiday reunion.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this New Year's Eve. I'm Lindsay Davis. The crowds have been forming here in New York for hours at this point amid a heightened security presence. This year, law enforcement across the country is on alert. The Israel-Hamas war fueling an increased threat environment. Police in New York City are out in force. Streets in and around Times Square were shut down overnight ahead of the city's iconic ball drop. That event is expected to draw more than 1 million people to the Times Square area, something that law enforcement had said could be an attractive terror target. Other cities are also on alert. Chicago officials canceled days off to make sure they had enough officers on patrol tonight. But so far, there have been no reported credible threats against tonight's celebrations. ABC's Alex Presha leads us off from New York.
Thank you for doing such a great job that I know you're going to do tonight.
Tonight, on this New Year's Eve, law enforcement across the country on high alert for potential security threats as millions ring in the new year. Here in New York, hundreds of thousands of revelers streamed through police checkpoints.
Watch your feet, everybody, watch your feet.
As the NYPD deployed thousands of uniformed and plainclothes officers, utilizing barricades and drones to secure tonight's massive celebration.
We will be out here with our canines, our horsebacks, our drones, our helicopters, our boats. The full complement of our public safety apparatus will be on display.
Security assessments obtained by ABC News warn domestic and jihadist extremists and those motivated by the Israel-Hamas war could see New Year's Eve in Times Square as an attractive target. However, the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and local police say they're not aware of any specific plans of attack. In Chicago, some officers had their off days canceled in order to beef up security tonight. Law enforcement ramped up from Boston to Southern California, where they're preparing for midnight celebrations and the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. The heightened security present in Europe as well. France with 90,000 officers deployed across the country. And just today, Germany detaining 3 more people after thwarting a holiday threat at a famous cathedral.
Lindsay, it might not look like it, but this place is packed just beyond 46th Street. We're expecting this area to fill in a little bit closer to midnight. But this is the so-called frozen zone. It's blocked off to vehicle traffic. You see these barriers. It makes it hard to navigate, but officers also hope that it makes it safer for spectators tonight. Lindsay?
We are certainly hoping for a safe night ahead. And Happy New Year to you, Alex. Thanks so much. Turning overseas now, tensions in the Red Sea are escalating. Yemen's Houthi rebels say 10 of their fighters died in a skirmish with the U.S. Navy. The U.S. says it fired in self-defense. U.S. ships have repeatedly shot down Houthi drones and missiles fired at commercial ships. But this was the first time the U.S. Navy has said that its personnel killed Houthi militants. In the past 6 weeks, there have been 23 incidents. ABC's Nguyen has the details.
Tonight, the U.S. military for the first time saying it killed Iran-backed Houthi rebels from Yemen. Those rebels attacking and attempting to board the Maersk Hangzhou cargo ship in the Red Sea, the ongoing maritime conflict linked to the Israel-Hamas war.
We don't seek a conflict wider in the region. We certainly aren't looking for a conflict with the Houthis. The best outcome here would be for the Houthis to stop these attacks.
The latest skirmish starting Saturday night local time. U.S. Central Command saying 2 anti-ship ballistic missiles were fired at the Hangzhou from areas controlled by Houthis. Those missiles shot down by the destroyer USS Gravely. Hours later, Houthi attackers in 4 boats firing upon Navy helicopters from the USS Eisenhower, responding to a distress call from the Hangzhou. Those helicopters sinking 3 of the boats, killing 10 Houthi members, according to the Yemeni armed forces, the 4th boat escaping. The Houthis in Yemen blamed for nearly 24 attacks on international vessels in the Red Sea region in the past 6 weeks. The Red Sea, one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. The Houthis claim to only be targeting Israel-bound ships, the U.S. responding by creating an international coalition, which includes the United Kingdom, to protect all vessels transiting the Red Sea.
We're going to put the kind of forces we need in the region to protect those interests, and we're going to act in self-defense going forward.
The UK Foreign Minister David Cameron saying today he spoke to Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs and made clear that Iran shares responsibility for preventing these attacks. But in a rare interview with ABC News this week, Houthi leader Mohammed al-Houthi signaled the attacks would not stop as long as Israel continues its offensive in Gaza. Lindsay, U.S. officials tonight telling us the Navy's newest and largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and its strike group will soon be returning to its home port from the eastern Mediterranean Sea. It was sent to the region more than 2 months ago in response to Hamas's surprise attack on Israel. Lindsay.
Thank you. Tonight, the Israeli military says the war with Hamas will last into the end of 2024 as Israeli forces expand their mission to defeat Hamas. Israeli warplanes struck urban refugee camps this weekend as ground forces push deeper into southern Gaza. ABC's Britt Clennett reports tonight from Israel.
Tonight, Israeli forces releasing video of heavy fighting in Gaza as the Israeli military says it expects the war to last the entirety of 2024.
מטרות המלחמה מחייבות לחימה ממושכת.
The goals of the war require a prolonged war, says IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari, adding that some of the reservists will return home this week for time off, he says, to give them strength for a sustainable fight. His comments coming after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel's war against Hamas will last many more months. 8,000 terrorists have been taken out, according to Netanyahu. We continue to fight until all the objectives of the war are completed, he says, above all the elimination of Hamas and the release of all our abductees. Tonight, Israeli President Isaac Herzog issuing a New Year's plea to world leaders in 10 different languages to demand and work for the immediate, unconditional release of 133 hostages he says remain in Gaza. Netanyahu also vowing to take back control of Gaza's border with Egypt, saying any other arrangement would not ensure the demilitarization that Israel is after, a policy the Biden administration rejected this morning in an interview with our Whit Johnson.
We don't support any reoccupation of Gaza. What we do support is some sort of post-conflict governance in Gaza that meets the aspirations of the Palestinian people. And we believe that a reformed and revamped Palestinian Authority is probably the best way to get at that.
Tonight, more fierce fighting in Gaza as the IDF expands its operations further south. Gazans praying over the bodies of their lost loved ones. The death toll now at more than 21,800, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Trucks of aid rolling in, thousands lining up for food. The situation is tragic, says Noor Daha, who is one of the hundreds of thousands of displaced people in Gaza. We don't have drinking water, we don't have food. There's been more exchanges of fire at the Israel-Lebanon border. Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah with a warning that Israel is in no position to force it away from the border or let the displaced Israeli residents return to northern Israel. This all adding to fears of a wider regional escalation in this war.
Still widespread concern about that, Britt. Thank you. The crisis at the border is pushing major cities to the breaking point. Overnight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordered planes to drop off 350 migrants at an airport near Chicago. The move is escalating tensions between Abbott and the mayors of several major cities. Here's ABC's Irene Shaw.
Tonight, amid the record number of migrant crossings along the southern border, 3 U.S. mayors sounding the alarm, saying their cities are at a breaking point. Just today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordering a Boeing 77 plane carrying 350 asylum seekers to arrive in Rockford, Illinois. The passengers immediately bused to Chicago. Abbott, who for months has been busing migrants to so-called sanctuary cities, starting the flights after Chicago officials began impounding the buses used to transport them. Similar scenes in Denver and New York City, where more unannounced buses arrived. Since August of last year, Abbott has sent nearly 30,000 migrants to New York City alone, prompting the 3 mayors to require bus companies to give advance notice and additional restrictions for dropping passengers off with stiff penalties, saying the current system is harmful.
It puts those who have already suffered so much in danger. To be clear, this is not stopping people from coming, but about ensuring the safety of migrants and making sure they can arrive in a coordinated and orderly way.
Those mayors demanding federal support to help manage the increasing numbers of migrants.
We cannot continue to do the federal government's job.
Biden dispatching Secretary Blinken to Mexico to meet with Mexico's president this past week, encouraging them to step up immigrants' enforcement, reopen key ports of entry, and encourage migrants to stay in Mexico. But Mexico's president pushing for more aid. And Congress is stalling on a vote on border policy changes. The bill is tied to a package that includes funding for Ukraine and Israel. Meanwhile, nearly 250,000 migrants crossed the U.S. border in just December. Lindsay.
Congress certainly has a lot to contend with in the new year. Irene, thank you. Ukrainian officials say more than 24 people were wounded in the latest Russian attack on the eastern city of Kharkiv. Dozens of missiles and drones caused extensive damage to residential buildings and other structures. The White House is now pushing for more funding for Ukraine. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is traveling with the president in St. Croix and has the very latest. Elizabeth.
Lindsay, when President Biden returns from vacation here to the White House Tuesday, he'll be confronted by urgent foreign policy challenges. At the top of the list is mustering support on Capitol Hill for an $106 billion aid package that includes tens of billions for the U.S.-Mexico border and Israel, and more than $60 billion for Ukraine. The president warning in a new statement, unless Congress takes urgent action in the new year, we will not be able to continue sending the weapons and vital air defense systems Ukraine needs. Republicans insist Ukraine aid must be passed alongside major reforms at the southern border, like enforcing stricter rules for migrants who are trying to claim asylum and hiring more border agents. We are told that Senate negotiators worked through the holiday week to try to hammer out an agreement, but complicating any deal is a threat of yet another government shutdown on January 19th. Lindsay.
That threat looms large once again. Elizabeth, thank you. Millions are gathering to ring in the new year with respiratory illnesses on the rise across much of the country. 31 states and Washington, D.C. are seeing high or very high levels of infection from flu, COVID, RSV, and the common cold. Health officials are again urging people to get vaccinated. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
Tonight, some of the nation's top hospitals bringing masks back as respiratory infections spread across the country.
Admissions are up and folks are getting sick and getting admitted to the hospital for things like COVID, influenza, and even RSV sometimes.
In Wisconsin, a nearly 15% jump in positive COVID tests. The University of Wisconsin now requiring healthcare staff, patients, and visitors to wear face coverings during all patient interactions.
We are seeing an increase in number of patients admitted with respiratory illnesses compared with the number of patients admitted around Thanksgiving time. We're up about 40%.
31 states plus Washington, D.C. seeing high or very high levels of respiratory illnesses, including COVID, RSV, the flu, and the common cold. Flu hospitalizations were up nearly 50% in the last week. The CDC estimating 4,500 flu-related deaths this season alone, with the number of infections growing or likely growing in every state. And COVID hospitalizations are at their highest in a year.
We are holding some patients in the emergency room, waiting a bit. And I would say every hospital in the region is doing that because of just the amount of sick people that we're seeing coming through the doors now.
All of this as millions coast to coast gather tonight for New Year's celebrations.
I would just urge everybody to be mindful and to spread good cheer this year, not viruses.
And keep in mind, winter just started, so we'll likely be seeing even more infections in the coming weeks. Lindsay?
Spread cheer and not germs. Words to live by, Rena. Thank you. Looking ahead to midnight and the New Year forecast, might be a good idea to bring a jacket along. Most of the country will feel a chill, 38 degrees here in New York, but 52 in L.A., even Miami feeling a frosty 55. Most of the country will be dry as the clock strikes midnight, with a few rain and snow showers from Indiana to Pennsylvania. And there's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday, including an urgent recall why one company is pulling some of its infant formula off the shelves. We have some breaking news. The search for a young mother from Colorado suspected of murdering two of her children has come to an end. Kimberly Singler was arrested tonight in the United Kingdom. No other details are available. Singler, who's 35, was wanted for the murders of her 9-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son. An older daughter was injured in the attack at their home. Next tonight, an urgent recall of powdered infant formula. Reckitt Mead Johnson is voluntarily recalling more than 675,000 cans of Nutramigen hypoallergenic infant formula powder. It's used by babies with allergies to cow's milk. The product may have been contaminated by a dangerous type of bacteria. No illnesses have been reported in connection with this recall. Frontier Airlines is apologizing after a Florida teenager ended up on the wrong flight a few days before Christmas. The 16-year-old was supposed to fly from Tampa to Cleveland, but wound up in Puerto Rico. The airline says the two flights were scheduled to depart from the same gate, and the teen somehow got on the wrong one. This follows another recent mix-up when a 6-year-old got on the wrong Spirit Airlines flight and ended up in Orlando instead of Fort Myers. When we come back, Jeremy Renner's surprise visit, why he was back in the hospital over the holidays. To the index now. New Year's celebrations are underway in many parts of the world. Auckland, New Zealand was the first major city to welcome 2024 with fireworks over the Sky Tower. More than 1 million people gathered near the Harbour Bridge in Sydney, Australia for a spectacular show there with tons of fireworks lasting more than 12 minutes. And this programming note, Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest kicks off tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific right here on ABC. Actor Jeremy Renner was back in the hospital in Reno, Nevada, but this time it was to thank the staff that treated him after a horrific snowplow accident that nearly took his life almost a year ago. Renner posted on social media, quote, "I'm forever in your debt with gratitude, #love and titanium." And when we come back, 4 sisters, 4 babies, and 1 incredible holiday. Finally tonight, oh baby, trips to grandma's house will never be the same. A holiday dream times 4. For one family in Omaha, Nebraska, the 4 in 2024 is especially significant.
This is Miles Thomas. This is Carson Taylor. This is Stanley Leland. This is Lydia Jones.
There are 4 theme sisters, and there's a common theme this year. All 4 sisters gave birth in 2023, all gathering now together with their new bundles of joy.
Christmas Day is just our immediate family, and we open up all the presents, and we actually had all matching Grinch pajamas, even the dads, all of them.
The 4 cousins met for the first time on Thanksgiving when they were each baptized.
It's such a unique experience to become a mom, but then to watch your sisters become moms all at the same time and just have your love expand that much more to have all these nieces and nephews.
The shared experience of being pregnant and bringing babies into the world the same year has brought these sisters even closer together.
To just be on this journey with my sisters, from the breastfeeding to the labor and delivery, each stage has been so awesome and just continues to bring us closer.
The cousins enjoying some floor time together this afternoon. And tonight, this message from their grateful mothers.
From our growing family to yours, we wish you all a safe, happy, and healthy New Year.
What a blessing. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis in New York. From all of us here, Happy New Year and have a great night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.